కూడా అదే ప్రాబ్లం అయింది కదా. Yes, recording. Good morning, students. Welcome to zoology webinars of Model School for Senior Inter. Students, in the previous session of genetics, Mrs. Chandrika ma'am made us learn about genetic disorders and chromosomal disorders, isn't it? So, in the prenatal test, we can avoid these few disorders. But how? So, let us identify those. But how to identify those disorders and how to get it done? So, let us learn today more interesting topics. See, all these disorders we can read and identify those codes. So, what are the techniques involved in that? So, one technique is DNA fingerprinting, where we can find the genetic codes, isn't it? So, and we have a vast future project where the mankind is dependent, that is known as human genome. So today let's learn about these two things. This human genome project, the other one is about the DNA fingerprinting. How it is done, what are the uses, everything will be clearly done today. Okay, we have with us Chandrika ma'am. Ma'am,
good morning, students. So today we are going to deal about Human Genome Project and DNA fingerprinting. Ma'am, shall I start?
yes.
Yes, ma'am. So today we are going to study about the Human Genome Project and DNA fingerprinting. Children, what is genome? A complete set of DNA instructions which we are determined, our characteristics, our traits, our inheritance are being determined by the simple term called as genome. Genome is a complete set of chromosomes which are in us. So let's see the topic. So we all know, children, our body is made up of building blocks called as proteins. Proteins are very useful. We know all the enzymes are proteins, but all proteins are not enzymes. So our body is made up of building blocks called as proteins. These proteins determine our enzymes, our body work, our body building, everything. So these are the building blocks. These repairs and replace tissues. They work as transportation, formation, clotting, defense. So they make our hair, nails, eye, skin, bone, muscles, everything. Children, each and every part of our body is made up of protein. So how are these proteins synthesized? Where are these synthesized? How are they coded? Is what we will know today, right? So during the sexual mode of reproduction, the male and female, we know, children, the male will give out the sperm and the female will give out the ovum. After fertilization, there is an exchange of DNA from half of the mother, half of the father. So 23 pairs of chromosomes are present in the baby. So the DNA code contains instructions needed to make the proteins and molecules essential for growth, development and health. Children, we have two genders, generally male and female. So we grow, we develop, we reproduce also, right, children? So these are sequenced in DNA sequencing. The code contains which make the proteins, molecules, which are again required for the, as I told you, growth, development and health. Now children, you can see over here, DNA transcription takes place and form the mRNA. Children, mRNA, messenger RNA, is the blueprint for DNA, that is protein synthesis. So the mRNA will translate and the synthesis of the proteins takes place. Right? You can see over here, DNA, RNA polymerase, transcription takes place. As I told you, the messenger RNA is formed. Now, the messenger RNA, with the help of the ribosomes, it will translate and form a chain of proteins called as polypeptides. Now, genome, genome is inscribed in the DNA in some of the RNAs. So the portion of genome that codes for a protein or an RNA is referred to as the gene. So these genes, children, they code for the proteins. So we all know, as I told you in the earlier classes, we have nucleotide such as sugar, phosphate and the nitrogen bases, right children? So these trinucleotide units called as codons. So each codon form a single amino acid, that is protein, right? This is the start codon, children. AUG is the start codon. In the DNA, a start codon, start means children, it will initiate the translation of the first amino acid in the polypeptide chain. So a codon is a trinucleotide sequence of RNA or DNA that correspond to a specific amino acid, children. So as I told you, the genetic code describes the relationship between the DNA bases. Children, the nitrogen bases are four types, as I told you: adenine, guanine, cytosine, and thymine, as in purines and pyrimidines. AT, adenine, thymine, cytosine, guanine, right children? So these are corresponding the protein sequence that it encodes. So the cell reads the sequence of the gene in the groups of these three bases. So the genetic code, children, these are the three bases code for one amino acid. These three bases code for another amino acid. So the three bases combine to form one amino acid. A chain of amino acids is called as polynucleotide chain. So children, codon 1, codon 2, and 1 second. Codon 1, codon 2, codon 3. Three codons will initiate one amino acids. As I told you children, this is the mRNA and it will synthesize the polynucleotide amino acid chain. So this is the UAA which will stop the codon. So UAA and UTG and tag TAG, TGA are the stop codons which are usually used. So this is the DNA which has to be transcribed, children. So the first step is transcription to the RNA. Now the RNA will form the messenger RNA and translate into polypeptide chain. How children? Three bases will form one amino acid, right? This is the start codon. This is the stop codon. So this is the polynucleotide chain. In this way, the proteins are synthesized and our gene is generated, right children? You can see over here again the codon, and these are the amino acids: methionine, valine, serine, and proline. So chain of amino acids is called as, yes, polynucleotide chain or polypeptide chain. So what is Human Genome Project? To analyze the complete set of chromosomes. We know we have 23 pairs of chromosomes, that is 13,000 chromosomes. Studying the human chromosome was a bit difficult, but they started it. They want to study, analyze from where these genetic diseases are occurring, how they can repair, how they can produce a good healthy generation. So what is chromosome or DNA? We know this is the cell structure which has nucleus and a chromosome, and these are the DNA. DNA, children, we have studied in the last class: double helix structure, double stranded DNA, right, which has sugar group, phosphate group, and the nitrogen base. Right, this is the nucleolus, nuclear pore, genetic material, and this is the nuclear plasm. Now children, this is the nucleosome. So the nucleosome model of chromosome, it consists of 8 histone proteins. Children, each nucleosome contains 8 histone proteins. Right children, so let's separate this double-stranded DNA. A simple level of understanding is it is consists of double-stranded DNA. So children, DNA is complexed with histones to form the nucleosome. How many children? Yes, 4 on the top, 4 below. So the complete 8 nucleotides or histones form the nucleosome with the 8 histone proteins. Right? So a chromatosome consists of a nucleosome plus the H1 histone. So this is the chromatosome. So the nucleosome fold up to produce 3 nanometer fiber. In this way, a complete tight coiling of the fibrate chromatid produces a complete set of chromosome, children. Right? How does DNA code for proteins in the cell? We have studied. Let's brush up again also. So what is DNA, children? Deoxyribonucleic acid. So DNA is the genetic material of most organisms. So DNA is made up of series of nucleotides. Again children, we will come across this term nucleotide. It contains sugar group, phosphate group, and the nitrogen base. Nitrogen base are of four types: adenine, guanine, cytosine, thymine. Very good. So we have the protein coding regions in the genome which are known as genes. So the nucleotide triplets in the coding region of the gene are called as codons. Children, you can see over here, this is the nitrogen basis, right? This forms the DNA. So upon the transcription, RNA, translation, protein chain is formed. So each codon, as I told you, each codon represents a particular amino acid in a polypeptide sequence of the protein. Now children, the dense mass of loops and coils in the nucleus constitute chromatin. This is the chromatin fiber children. It contains two: deep staining heterochromatin, light staining euchromatin. Children, usually heterochromatin is inactive. Euchromatin is active. We have seen in the bar bodies heterochromatinization of the X chromosome makes the inactive X chromosome like a drumstick appearance, right children? So usually heterochromatin is inactive, euchromatin is active. So what is the role of euchromatin, children? This is the protein which binds a chain of proteins, binds with the chromatin, right? So as I told you children, this is the euchromatin, this is the heterochromatin. Heterochromatin versus euchromatin. Children, as I told you, heterochromatin DNA is generally not very active. In the interface, this type of chromatin are compact. Heterochromatin also has stretchers and replicate sequences called as satellite DNA. Euchromatin is generally more active. In interface children, they generally do not condense. Heterochromatin, yes, they do get condensed and behave like the bar bodies. Right, children? So this is the euchromatin and this is the heterochromatin regions, children, of the chromosome. So genome, as I told you, is the genetic material, is the complete genetic material of an organism. I have my set of genome, you do have your set of genome, which is inherited from my parents, and your parents is in your genome. So it is the genetic material of an organism. It consists of DNA or RNA in the RNA virus, children. So it includes both the genes, children, coding, non-coding. Coding, as I told you, it will code the proteins. Proteins, three codons will produce one amino acid that forms the polypeptide chain, right children? Non-coding, they do not code any proteins. So they have mitochondrial DNA, chloroplast DNA. So the study of the genome is called as genomics, right? So DNA is the chemical compound that contains what, children? Yes, it contains the genetic instructions which a organism need to develop and direct, grow, right? And the health of the genome depends also on the DNA. So the genetic makeup of an organism or an individual lies in the DNA sequence. Children, as a base pairs, when the base pairs are disturbed, in the class we have studied insertion, deletion, mutation. So these are the things which will disturb the DNA sequence and cause the diseases, right? So if two individuals differ in their DNA sequence, they should be different, at least at some places. So what is Human Genome Project? So it was a mega project, children. International efforts began in October 1980. It is a 13-year-old project coordinated by US Department of Energy and National Institute of Health. During the early years of HGP, the Wellcome Trust UK became a major partner. Additional contributions came from Japan, France, Germany, China, and others. So children, this project was almost completed by 2003. So bioinformatics. So children, this bioinformatics is closely associated with the rapid development of the new area in the biology. Bioinformatics is about everything, children: chemistry, physics, botany, and maths. So all these things comes under the bioinformatics. So they will analyze the data which is got from our biology, right? It provides clues to understanding human biology, learning about non-human organisms, DNA sequences. So this can lead to understanding of their natural capabilities. So bioinformatics can be applied towards solving challenges in our healthcare, agriculture, energy production, Environmental remediation. Children, nowadays we know the soil is losing its fertility because of the extreme use of pesticides. So this bioinformatics can be applied and can be solved. So bioinformatics is a subdiscipline of biology and computer science concerned with the acquisition of storage, analysis, dissemination of biological data. Most often it is DNA and the amino acid sequences. So genomes of many non-human model organisms were also carried, children, in the bacteria, in the yeast, Drosophila melanogaster. We have seen because it contains only four pairs of chromosomes, right? And we and the Drosophila melanogaster share 60% similar chromosomes, right? So this is another non-pathogenic nematode, and this is the genome of the rice. So these are the non-biological genome which have been studied. So this is Arabidopsis thaliana, which has many advantages in genome analysis, children, because it has short generation time, small in size. It can produce lot of offsprings, large number of offsprings, and obviously it has relatively small nuclear genome. Children, we have 30,000 of chromosomes, so our genome is very large. So studying human genome was a bit difficult because it contained lot of base pairs. But children, this particular plant has small nuclear genome, so they had many advantages studying them. So to support these activities in international collaboration, the particular plant initiative, the AGI began initiating sequencing the genome in 1996. So all these three non-human model organisms helped in the genome project, children. You can see over here, children, this is the bacterial cell, this is the virus. So the viral genome is instead to the bacterial genome. This is how, so the genome of the virus is different and the bacterial cell genome is also different. So what are the goals of Human Genome Project? To identify approximately 30,000 genes in human DNA. They want to learn everything because it is all about Human Genome Project. The basic need of Human Genome Project, the basic goal is to provide healthy generations, children, without diseases, right? So determine the sequences of the 3 billion chemical base pairs to make up the human DNA. So improve tools for data analysis, address the ethical, legal, social issues that may arise from the project. So there were two methodologies, children, two major approaches. First is expressed sequence tag. Sequence. Children, as I told you, a sequence of nitrogen base pairs are arranged in a row. So those 3 base pairs form a codon, and that particular codon will give rise to, yes, amino acid, right? Let's see. So the first major approach was to identify the genes that are expressed as RNA. So expressed sequence tags. So an express sequence tag is a very short sequence of cDNA sequence, children. It is randomly selected. So EST may be used to identify gene transcripts and are instrumental in gene discovery and in gene sequence determination. So children, we all know DNA transcription, that is RNA synthesis, mRNA, and the codons. These 3 codons will form, children, yes, the amino acids. So the transcription is the really important process by which the information of stranded DNA is copied into a new molecule of mRNA. So this, as I told you, children, this mRNA serves as a blueprint for protein synthesis during the process of, yes, translation. Children, DNA, transcription, RNA, translation, protein synthesis. I repeat, DNA. DNA will transcript. It will form the mRNA, messenger RNA. This messenger RNA is a blueprint for the, yes, protein synthesis. Now it will undergo the translation. Now more number of proteins are formed. So the same, children, DNA, transcription, mRNA, then a polypeptide chain is formed, translation. So let's see, first of all, how to make the complementary DNA. Complementary DNA. Children, these are exon, intron. This is double stranded. Exon, children, it means the coding region, coding gene. Intron, non-coding gene. So the gene is transcribed to RNA. Transcription. First step is transcription. It forms the RNA. Introns removed. That means introns means, children, non-coding regions were removed. Only the coding regions were sliced. Why, children? Because these coding regions will give rise to, Yes, proteins. So this is the mRNA. Children, mRNA is the blueprint for the, yes, protein synthesis. I repeat, children, the double-stranded DNA, exon, coding region, intron, non-coding region. So the gene transcript to RNA. Now the introns are removed and exons, that means introns means children, non-coding genes are removed. Exons, the coding genes are spliced together for mRNA. So this is the mRNA which is full of, yes, exons, that is children, coding genes, right? So isolate mRNA from the cell and add reverse transcriptase. During the reverse transcriptase, children, the mRNA is digested by the reverse transcriptase and it will form the second strand of DNA synthesized, right? So the cDNA genes are synthesized without children, without introns. Now, what are introns, children? Yes, non-coding genes. I hope I am clear. Let's see. So the first is to transcription of genomic DNA to generate mRNA. How did we do, children? Yes, the double-stranded DNA was transcribed to form the mRNA, messenger RNA. Now, this messenger RNA went for the reverse transcriptase to form the RNA. As I told you, children, splicing. What happened there? The introns were removed, that is coding, non-coding regions were removed, the exons were added, a complete stretch of mRNA was formed, right? So the reverse transcription of mRNA occurred and the RNA is produced. Now children, as I told you, the RNA cannot be cloned directly. So to generate cDNA, so see, this is the cDNA. That means children, complementary deoxyribose nucleic acid. Now, so the ribonuclease degradation of RNA took place. Synthesis of second strand of DNA took place, children. From where exactly? This is the fifth primer. This is the third primer, children. This is the fifth and this is the third. That means, children, 5 EST. Fifth primer express sequencing tags. Third primer express sequencing tags. So it undergoes forward sequencing primer. This is reverse sequencing primer. In this way, a double strand DNA is produced. Right, children? So the assembly and organization of EST, multiple number sequence assembly, bridged sequence assembly, small clusters on the basis of the size of EST is determined, right? So the next approach is the blind approach. Children, what was the first approach? Yes, it was the express sequencing tag, right, children? So exons, introns were there in the DNA. So the exons were kept, the introns were removed. What are exons, children? Coding genes. Introns, non-coding genes. The RNA is produced by transcriptase. Then mRNA is produced, messenger RNA, which is the blueprint for the copy of, yes, protein synthesis. Right? In this way, the express sequence tags are produced. Right? Next, the blind approach. Sequencing the whole set of genome that contains all coding and non-coding sequence and later assigning different regions in the sequence with functions, sequence annotations. Annotations means children, definitions, right? So the sequence annotations is the process of marking specific features in DNA, RNA, or specific protein with descriptive information about the structure or the function. Children, in the EST, we had only the codons, that means exons. We removed the introns, right? Non-coding genes. In the blind approach, the whole set of genome is obtained that contains codons and non-codons, that is exons and introns, because it has to define the sequence, right? So what is DNA sequencing? As I told you, a nitrogen base pair, right? ATCG in the alignment. So there will be a base pair. This is the sequence of the gene. This will determine the amino acid production. Right, children? Codons. So three base pairs forms one codon. That one codon will produce one particular protein. Right? So DNA sequencing is the process of determining the extra order of the 3 billion paired chemical building blocks called bases adenine, guanine, cytosine, and the thymine that make up the complete DNA of different human chromosomes. 23 plus Y in male children, 23 pairs of chromosomes. Right, children? 23, 22 pairs of autosomes, one pair of allosome, right? And Y in the male. It was a very greatest technical challenge. As I told you, it has 30,000 of chromosomes, many number of base pairs were there. So it was very tough job, but still they sequenced. So this is the deoxyribose nucleotide, children, DNTP. As I told you, this has phosphate group, this has sugar group, and this is the base, right? So the bases are of four types: adenine, cytosine, guanine, thymine, right, children? So this forms the sugar phosphate backbone, right? So children, please pay attention over here. This is the nucleotide. As I told you, the nucleotide consists of one phosphate, one sugar, and one nitrogen base, right, children? Here, cytosine is one of the nitrogen base. What are the four types of nitrogen base, children? Adenine, thymine, cytosine, and the guanine. So a nucleotide is an amino molecule that is the building block of the RNA and the DNA, right, children? So they also have the functions related to cell signaling, metabolism, and enzyme reaction. How does the enzyme reaction come in over, children? As I told you, all proteins are not enzymes, but all enzymes are proteins, right? So how the DNA is extracted? First of all, cells are lysed using a detergent that disturbs the plasma membrane. Children, as we all know, plasma membrane is protecting the cell from the external environment and the internal environment, right, children? So external environment and the internal environment. So when the disruption of plasma membrane takes place, so all the cell organelles which are living inside the cell, cytoplasm, cell organelles, it will get disturbed, will flow out, right? It will burst out. So the cell contents are treated with proteases to destroy protein and RNAs to destroy the RNA, right, children? So the cell debris is pelleted in centrifuge. Centrifuge, children, we know we have a centrifuge machine. We insert the tube, so it will run rapidly, very fastly, right? Rotation per minute. So it's the cells which are down here are analyzed. So this is the top portion, children. This is the portion which is centrifugated. So this is the supernatant liquid which is containing the DNA, and it is transferred to a clean tube. Now the DNA is precipitated with ethanol. It forms the viscous strands that can be pulled on the glass rod. So first the total DNA from the cell is isolated, children. So the DNA is converted into random fragments of relatively very small size. Random, children. Random means they'll just cut. See, sequence means they'll cut at one particular point. So the random fragments are broken. So the DNA is converted into random fragments of very relatively small size. So now these random fragments are cloned. Clone means, children, forming the exact copy. This the same clone, right? In a suitable host using specialized vectors. So what is the function of the vector, children? Vector will transport. It is the carrier. So the cloning results in the amplification. Amplification means, children, it will prolong. That means the DNA coding is taking place. Right? How does it occur? We will see in this class. So amplification of DNA fragments takes place, which are used for the sequencing the bases. So the commonly used hosts are bacteria and yeast, children. So the vectors are called as BAC, bacterial artificial chromosome, yeast artificial chromosome. So the fragments were sequenced using the automated DNA sequence that works on the principles method of the Friedrich Sanger. Till date, this Sanger method is used, children. So DNA sample is collected, right? Many copies of DNA are made. Now they are randomly broken into pieces. So the sequences are arranged in the correct order. So the complete genome is assembled. How it is occur? Let's see. So first is shotgun sequencing, children. It is a technique for determining the sequence of the entire chromosome. So a large DNA molecule is taken and broke down at particular ends. That is random selection, children. So the DNA, so you can see, children, these are the sequence genomes. So assembling of overlapping DNA sequences. You can see, children, there is overlapping. So this overlapping is cut off and assembled sequences made. This is shotgun sequencing, right, children? So these computers are used to finding the overlapping ends. You can see over, children, this is genomic DNA. This is BAC, bacterial artificial chromosome library. So these are clones. As I told you, they are cloned. Exact copies are made, right, children? So bacterial artificial chromosome to be sequenced. These are shotgun clones. This again, this is the overlapping. You can see children T, T, G, A, T, C, A, T, G, C, T, T, A, A. So this is the overlapping ends. So the computer will analyze the overlapping end and the assemble of complete genome is taking place. So children, let's see the important part of this chapter, that is three parts of nucleotide. That is, as I told you, phosphate, sugar and the base. Children, if there is no phosphate group, it is called as nucleoside. I repeat, it is called as nucleoside. When it has phosphate group, sugar group and the base, it is called as nucleotide. So the Sanger method, also known as chain termination method. Terminate means children to stop, to abort. Right children, to stop or to abort. Now children, when you are sequencing the DNA, it has to be stopped somewhere. That method is used by the Sanger method, that is chain termination method. How do the chain terminate is now we are going to learn. So it is a method for determining the nucleotide sequence of the DNA. So children, let's see here. Deoxynucleotide which has one oxygen. Dideoxynucleotide which do not have two oxygen molecules in any of the primer. Right children? Do they have oxygen group over here? No. Here? No. That's the reason dideoxynucleotide. Children, make a mark of this because it is very important. It is going to play a very important role in the chain termination method. This is the biggest breakthrough which was made by the Sanger. So the Sanger sequencing, so it uses the DNA polymerase to synthesize the second strand of DNA, children, that is labeled. Now a DNA polymerase always adds to the new basis of 3' primer, children. Always remember 3' primer, right? Now when the primer is added to the DNA, it will sequence. It will synthesize the number of proteins. At one point, it has to stop. So the dideoxynucleotides are added because they do not have the oxygen. Right, children? They do not have the oxygen. This is the deoxynucleotide chain, children. So they will form the base pairs. A long chain of base pairs are formed. Now, to terminate the reaction, dideoxynucleotides are administered. Now, what does this dideoxynucleotide do? It lacks oxygen group in the third primer. So, it will stop the reaction. The change will terminate because until we have oxygen, we can't add any other base pair. Right? Yes. Now, children, this is the strand. This is how a DNA is sequenced. Right, children? The hydroxyl group to the third primer. To the phosphodiester linkage, another base pair is added. Now to the other base pair. The same way. Now when you add dideoxynucleotide, I had told you children, dideoxynucleotide do not carry oxygen on the third prime end. Here the synthesis stops. Right children, the synthesis of protein stops. There is no further sequencing of the proteins takes place. I repeat myself children, dideoxynucleotide do not contain any oxygen present on the third primer. Right children? So unless there is oxygen, we can't bind. There is no phosphodiester linkage. There is no pairing of the bases. Now this is how the chain terminates, ends, right? Because of the dideoxynucleotide. So next method is classical Sanger sequencing method. Children, the same way, an RNA polymerase enzyme, a primer, which is a short piece of single-stranded DNA that will bind to the template DNA, children, and acts as a starter for the polymerase. Polymerase, children, it means it will produce more number of DNA sequences, right? So the 4 DNA nucleotides, DATP, DTTP, DCTP, DGTP are installed in that. What is ADP? Children, adenine, thymine, cytosine, guanine. So these are free oxynucleotides. Free oxynucleotides. Now children, what is dideoxy? I told you, these do not have any oxygen group, hydroxyl group on the third primer. So this acts as the chain termination ends. Now children, Sanger sequencing. Let's assume, so each tube has a primer, DNTPs, that is DATP, DTTP, DGTP, DCTP. Right, children? The same way. Now, DNA polymerase and dideoxy ATP, dideoxythymine TP. Right, children? Why there is need of dideoxy? Children, as I told you, dideoxy will terminate the chain reaction. Why? How? There is no oxygen group to pair. Right? So now this is the primer and this is the template strand, children. So they will be sequencing. Now when DDATP, dideoxy ATP binds with the third primer, the chain will terminate. The chain won't grow because there is no oxygen group. That's the reason they won't be binding. So the chain reaction terminates over here. Right? So now another nucleotide cannot bind over here. Right? So this is again, so I'll repeat. So this is template strand. This is the hydroxyl group, which the phosphodiester linkage is happening. When we administered dideoxynucleotides, it will stop the synthesis. Right, children? So this is the method, chain determination methods is described by the Sanger, which is widely used till now also. Now, children, this is the DNA next step we can see over here. Again, a quick refresh. Look, recap. Denature of DNAs using heat, that is double-stranded to the single-stranded. Make multiple copies of the segment, attach to primer, add to 4 polymerized solution. Now grow complementary chain until the termination die. Denature the growing chains. Now the electrophoresis of the 4 solution. Let's see in detail, children. So this is the primer, this is the template. So these are the dideoxynucleotides, children, right, which will terminate. So this is the chain which is constantly growing with the base pairs, right? So this is the children, these can be separated by capillary gel electrophoresis. Children, we'll deal it with later. First of all, let's see. So this has the 5 bases, this has the 13 bases, and this is the 10 bases in tube 1. Assume like this. So when we take these things on the X-ray film, tube 1, tube 2, tube 3, tube 4. How is the sequencing made? This is the nucleotide. Let's see, children. So this is A, right? A, T, G, C. So the first is A, children. Second is again A. Third, children, it is G, right? G. Fourth, let's see fourth, it is C, children. Fifth, T. Sixth, T. Seventh, A. Eighth, G. Ninth, C. 10th, C. Now, this is how a complete base pair, a complete genome is determined, children. So, it is the best way is to add the fluorescence to the DT-ATP, children. So, we can see the end of that. So, the dideoxy ATP means, children, it will terminate the reaction. In this way, we can see with the help of fluorescence light, right? Very good. So by the capillary electrophoresis, these are separated, children. So a DNA extract DNA is from the liver cell, double-stranded DNA. So we will form to the single-stranded DNA, make thousands of copies, right? What did we do, children? Yes, we add primer and the polymerase reaction, right? Then dideoxynucleotides were added and it was analyzed in the computer. So the complete base pairs were analyzed in the computer. This is how the complete base pairs are determined. Now, children, 3 base pairs form a codon and 1 codon will form how many amino acids? Yes, 1 amino acid. 3 base pairs, 1 codon, 1 amino acids. In this way, DNA sequencing is done, children. So, what are the salient features of Human Genome Project? Now, children, the human genome consists of chromosome made up of nucleotide base pairs. Nucleotide base pairs. Nucleotide, a sugar group, a phosphate group, and a nitrogen base group. Now, nitrogen base group again, 4 types: adenine, thymine, guanine, cytosine. Right, children? So, the average gene consists of 3,000 bases, but size vary greatly. So we all know, children, what is the largest known gene, children? In the last class we have studied. Yes, it is a dystrophin. That is the gene which is the largely known human gene. What is the work of the dystrophin gene, children? Yes, it binds the sarcolemma and the muscle fibers, right? In this way, the coordination of the muscle is taking place. So the total number of gene is estimated to 30,000. Almost children, we have 99.9 nucleotides, bases exactly the same in all the peoples. Only 0.11% is different from each other. So the functions are unknown for over 50% of the genes discovered. So the less than 2% of the genome codes for the proteins. Can you imagine? Less than 2% of the genome codes for the proteins. Less than 2%. This is how we are. Only less than 2%. Just imagine if all the genes start coding, what would be the process, right? Yes. So the repeated sequences make up very large portion of the human genome. This repeated sequences, children, we will be dealing in the next class. That will help us in many ways, that is paternity and maternity issues, right, in the crime solving issues also. So these repetitive sequence are the stretches of DNA which are repeated many times, children. So which are repeated many times. They are thought to have no direct coding. So functions, but they shed light on the chromosome structure, dynamic, and the evolution. So those repeated sequences determine my genome. The repeated sequences are different in your genome, children. So the chromosome number 1 has the highest number of genes, children, 2968, and the Y chromosome has the fewest gene, that is 231. So children, the scientists have identified about 1.4 million locations where single base DNA differences are made. So single nucleotide polymorphism, pronounced as SNPs. So these occurs in the humans. So this information promises to revolutionize the process of finding chromosomal location for disease associated sequence and trace human history. Now children, in the last class we have seen how the chromosome locations change, altered, right children, reciprocal translocation, how they made up from 2 to 3, or the set was added by 1, that is 3, or the set was minus by 1, that is monosomy, trisomy. So these are the few lightings of the Human Genome Project. So what are the advantages of Human Genome Project, children? In the area of healthcare, identification and mapping of the genes responsible for the genetic diseases were helped. So these helped in diagnosis, treatment, and prevention of certain diseases, children, at least to a certain type. So detailed knowledge of the genome of humans and other species will give us clear picture of gene expression, cellular growth, differentiation, and evolutionary biology. Now, children, if we detect the disease gene which is causing the disease, so we can give the rational drug therapy or gene therapy. Gene therapy is very booming thing now, children. Instead of taking drugs or medications, the gene therapy is altered. Just imagine if somebody is suffering some ailments. Now when they go to doctor, they will prescribe some medicines, medications. Instead of that, if you are advised to go for gene therapy, that complete gene can be altered. That means the particular gene is causing the disease, right children? In the last class we have studied, right? That particular gene is causing the disease. If the gene therapy is applied, it is going to be more easy and the disease can be cut off, right? So a new era of molecular medicine characterized by looking into most fundamental causes of diseases than treating the symptoms will be more important advantage. So let's see about the gene therapy, children. So it is an experimental technique. So to prevent the disease, children. It is under process, but in few cases it has been success also. So in the future, this technique may allow doctors to treat the disorder by inserting a gene into the patient's cell. Instead of using drugs, children, or surgery. So a gene can be inculcated, the disease causing gene can be removed, and a gene can be inserted to that particular person, right? So imagine the cell containing the faulty gene, disease causing gene. This is the blocking gene, that is blocking gene. So this gene will block the disease causing gene. Now the cell will function normally. Just imagine no drugs, no medications, no surgery, just inserting a gene. So that gene will block the disease causing gene and the patient will live a healthy life. Just imagine, it is very good, right children? So on September 14, 1990, W. French Anderson and his colleague at NIH performed the first approved gene therapy procedure for 4-year-old girl born with severe combined immunodeficiency syndrome. So they were succeeded also. So clinical trials of gene therapy in people have shown some success children, at least to some diseases such as hemophilia, like blindness caused by retinitis pigmentosa. So killing of specific cells. So this is the disease cell children. This is the suicide gene. So children, we have seen in the lysosomes also. What will the lysosomes do? In the 9th class we have studied, yes, it will digest and they will burst out. So they are called as the suicidal bags of the cell. The same way, this killing of specific cells, so suicide gene is inculcated over here, the disease causing cell dies, right? So a genetic marker is again introduced into the disease cell. So the marker proteins expressed on the cell surface. So the immune system attacks the marker cell and the diseased cell dies. This is the latest innovation in the field of genetics children, gene therapy, which is widely used. So in the hemophilia children, so therapeutic gene, the virus vector is directly injected to the body of the hemophilic person. This is the in vitro. In vivo, so the cell-based delivery children, as we have discussed over here, the marker gene. So the marker gene will express on the cell surface. So the immune system attack the marker cell and the cell ultimately dies. This is how the hemophilia gene therapy is being taking place. Right, children? So adeno-associated viral vectors, the parvovirus family are the small virus with a genome of single-stranded DNA. So these viruses can insert genetic material at a specific site on the chromosome number 19 with a near 100% certainty. So this will bind to the liver cells, children. So the functional factor 8 function or factor 9, children, factor 8 hemophilia A, factor 9 hemophilia B. So the clotting factors were produced and the hemophilia was cured in the person. So the next topic is DNA fingerprinting. Children, in the individuals, usually among the individuals, over 99.9% of the nucleotides are identical. 0.01% is non-identical. In the twins children, so they have the same sequence of DNA, right? So we have restriction, fragment length, polymorphisms. So these are variable number tandem repeats. I repeat children, variable number tandem repeats. Repeats means children, they will be repeating at consequent levels. So these are useful for the genetic markers. So children, no two persons. As I told you, 99.9% we do have the same gene sequence, right? But these variable number tandem repeats are different between two persons, right? So this DNA fingerprinting involves identifying the difference in some specific regions in the DNA called as repetitive DNA. So because in these sequences, a small stretch of DNA is repeated many number of times. Let's see. So this is restriction, fragment, length, polymorphism. Children, you can see over here. So this is the repeat. So somewhere in between the cut sides, there is a tandem repeat where different people have different number of repeated parts. As I told you, my variable number tandem repeats are different. Yours are different, right? If a disease causing mutation is between the cut sides, it is the length of the piece that can serve as the marker, children. So that is the marker. So that gets co-inherited. If you look at the first site, each person have two versions, children. We call it as same means, children, it is homozygous. If they are different, heterozygous. Children, you can see homozygous big, homozygous small. This is heterozygous. Right, children? So the mutation can remove or add new cut sites. So you can gain or lose those repeats. So this is the DNA, children. DNA extraction is made. So polymerized chromosomal reaction with label primers. So digestion with restriction enzyme. Restriction endonucleases are biological scissors, molecular scissors. It will cut the DNAs into random fragments. Electrophoresis separation and then laser detection. Children, don't worry. We will deal in this chapter in detail with the steps. Let's see. Repetitive DNA show high degree of polymorphism and form basis of DNA fingerprinting. Children, as I told you, in the normal base pair, we do have variable number tandem repeats. In me, the variable number tandem repeats are different. In you, those are different. So these are repetitive DNA, repetitive. They repeat the same base consequences, same base pairs, children. So those are called as genetic markers. Genetic markers. So there are bits of chromosome that can be cut by restriction endonucleases. So Alex Jeffrey pioneered DNA fingerprinting technique. He observed that the gene pertaining to myoglobin of muscles contain many segments that vary in size and composition from one person to another. You can see our children nucleotide base sequence. There are 6 tandem repeats of 16 bases each. You can see over here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is the 5th primer. This is the 3rd primer. We have 6 tandem repeats. So such clusters of 10 to 100 nucleotides are called as mini satellites. Children, such tandem repeats are the characteristic features of each person's DNA. As I told you, my variable number tandem repeats are different and your variable number tandem repeats are different. So such changes are caused due to mutation and gene recombinations. So the father has 4 tandem repeats, mother has 6 tandem repeats. Now child might inherit a chromosome with 6 tandem repeats from mother and 4 tandem repeats from father. So homologous chromosomes. So the child resembles those of the mother and others those of the father. This is called as heterozygous conditions with reference to VNTR segments, variable number tandem repeats. Now children, this variable number tandem repeats serve as the basis of fingerprinting. How? Let's see. So DNA fingerprinting is also known as DNA typing or genetic fingerprinting. It is the method for identifying the individuals of the particular structure in the DNA. As I told you, each person's DNA vary with the respect of variable number tandem repeats. So the DNA fingerprinting is used for many purposes, particularly paternity and maternity testing. For the forensic work, DNA can be obtained from the blood, semen, vaginal fluid, hair roots, almost from any tissues, children, even from the bones, even from the cheek cells also we can remove. So that can be buried for a long time. The bones, even from the bones that have been buried for a long time for fingerprinting. So DNA fingerprinting is a technique by which the DNA of an individual can be compared with that found in a sample or another individual. That means a suspect in a crime. Let's see how. So the first procedure is, children, obtaining the DNA. So the first step is to obtain the sample of DNA. It can be from the blood, from the saliva, hair follicles, from the semen, from the bones. If needed, many copies of the DNA can be produced by PCR, cloning, DNA amplification. As I told you, children, DNA amplification means the length of the base pair can be altered, right? Very good. So this is the polymerase chain reaction, PCR. Children, if the DNA is very small, so if there is very small amount of DNA available for the fingerprinting, first they go for many number of fingerprintings, that is PCR technique is used. So to augment the amount of DNA, use a technique called as PCR. So PCR is doing DNA replication in the test tube. This is the original DNA to be replicated, children, right? This is the 5 primer, this is the 3 primer. Now a DNA primer is added to the nucleotide. Right, children, this is the nucleotide. This is the DNA primer. Right, children? This is the original DNA strand to be replicated. Now it is denatured. So the double-stranded DNA is converted to the single-stranded DNA. Right, children? So the pink color is the, what is this, children? This is the primer. Right? Now you can see, children, in the above class we have studied the reverse transcription and the forward transcription. By this, the chain of DNA can be produced. When we do this, PCR, when we do this, when there is only small amount of DNA available for the fingerprinting, right? Next. So the fragmentation of DNA. Children, in the express sequence tag, we have randomly fragmented the DNA, right? Because it was a large molecule of DNA. Now the DNA is very small, so the DNA have to be fragmented. Now, as I told you, we do have restriction endonucleases. So these are the enzymes, these are the molecular scissors which cut the DNA into pieces. So treating DNA with the restriction enzymes, restriction endonucleases, which cut the DNA into smaller fragments by cutting at the specific sites. You can see here, children, this is the blood sample, DNA from the white blood cells mixed with restriction endonucleases to obtain the DNA fragments. Children, I repeat, Restriction endonucleases are the molecular scissors. They will fragment, they will cut the DNA into smaller fragments. Now, separation of DNA fragments by electrophoresis. Now, children, the DNA fragments may be, they are randomly cut, right, children, with the help of restriction endonucleases. Now, they have to be arranged, right, arranged. So, this separation of DNA fragments by electrophoresis. In this way, what they do is, the DNA fragments are applied at one, this is the agarose gel plate, children. So, a electric current charge is applied to the gel. So the DNA fragments which are slightly negative charge, they will travel across this gel. So this technique of separation of DNA fragments into individual bands is called as gel electrophoresis. Children, the DNA fragments are applied at one end of the agarose gel plate. This is the plate which has agarose gel. Now electric current is being passed. Now the DNA, so this fragment, the DNA fragments travel across the gel, and the technique of separation of DNA fragments takes place into individual bands. So this is called as gel electrophoresis. Now, denaturing of DNA. Children, we know that DNA is double helix structure, double stranded, right? So the DNA of the gel is denatured using alkaline chemicals. You can see your children's native state. When you heat, it will become to the single stranded DNA. So the splitting of double helix into the single strand. I repeat, double helix into the single strand is called as denaturing DNA. It is done by using alkaline chemicals or heating. Denaturing means children separation. So separation of double stranded DNA to the single stranded DNA, right? Then renaturalization can be also done for again for double stranded. Now we need children, we need single stranded. For that we are using alkaline or chemicals, or by simply heating we are making it to split from double helix to single strands, right? Very good. Next, blotting. Now a thin nylon membrane is placed over the size fraction. So the DNA strands covered by the paper towels. As the towel draw the moisture, children, when we are having the wet hands, what do? We take with the help of the towel, we dry it, right? The same, the blotting technique is thin nylon membrane is placed over the size fraction of the DNA strand with the help of the paper towels. So as the paper towel draws the moisture, then the DNA strands are transferred to nylon membrane by capillary action. So this technique was precisely after the name of E.M. Southern. He was the person who invented this. So this is the Southern blotting, children. This is the agarose gel hybridization buffer. So electrophoresis is used to separate DNA fragments by size. We have seen, children, in the third step, right? So electrophoresis, gel electrophoresis is used to separate DNA fragments by size. Now when they are separated, there can be so many fragments that they appear as smear on the gel. So to blot, so the DNA is transferred from the agarose gel to the nylon membrane. Now this is the hybridization buffer, children. This is the filter paper, and this is the agarose gel, which have many fragments of DNA. Then we have nylon membrane, then the paper towels. Now these paper towels will absorb the extra moisture present in the DNA strand by capillary method. Now the membrane is bathed in a solution containing a probe, a short piece of DNA complementary to sequence the interest. So the probe is labeled or tagged with a fluorescent dye. So the location of the DNA fragment in which it hybridizes can be visualized. This technique we'll see in the next thing, children. Yes, using probes to identify specific DNA. So a radioactive probe, children, that is DNA labeled with radioactive substances is added to the DNA bands. So this is the gene of interest. Right, children? This is the gene of interest. These are the DNA probes. Now, the gene of interest and the DNA probes are attached. So, to identify. So, this probe is a single-stranded DNA molecule that is the complementary to the gene of interest in the sample study. Children, this is the double-stranded DNA. Now, let's denature it. Means let's do that means let's split it from double helix to the single strand. Right? These are the DNA probes. Right? This is the gene of interest. Now, when you are adding the probe, right? So now the complementary gene of interest is used for the sample study. So the probe attached by base pairing to those restriction fragments that are complementary to its sequences. So the probe is binding, children. This is probe DNA. You can see this is fluorescent radioactive isotopes. So it can be used. Fluorescent substances or radioactive isotope for the clear vision. You can easily identify your gene of interest, children, because the probe is radioactive isotope. So the next step is hybridization. Hybridization with probe. After the probe hybridizes, the excess probe is washed off and the photographic film is placed on the membrane containing the DNA hybrids. Children, we have seen over here, this is the single-stranded DNA. These are the probes. Now it will get attached. A complementary gene is produced. Right, children? Now, when there are extra probes that have to be washed off, right? That has to be washed off. So, excess DNA probe is to be washed off. At this stage, the radioactive probe is bounded to the DNA pattern on the membrane. So, this is about hybridization with probe. That means, children, the excess probe has to be washed off. That means a photographic film is placed on the membrane containing only the DNA hybrids, right? That means DNA, single strand DNA with the probe. Extra probe have to be washed off. This is the step in hybridization of probe. So the exposure on the film to make a genetic or DNA fingerprint. Now children, you can see the radio label active exposes the film to form an image of bands corresponding to specific DNA bands. The thick and thin bands, dark bands form a pattern of bars which constitute the genetic fingerprint. We'll see in this chapter, children. So this is about the DNA fingerprinting. The sample is taken. Now it is treated with the restriction endonucleases. So the fragments are made. They are separated into the bands by gel electrophoresis, children. So it is added with the probes, right? So the excess probe has to be washed off. Now a radioactivity probe is administered. So the X-ray film is placed next to the membrane to detect the radioactive pattern. Right. Forensic application of DNA fingerprinting. Biological, non-biological children. A given person can never have VTNR, which his parents do not have. Children, as I told you, we get inheritance the VTNRs from our parents. Variable number tandem repeats. I do have my variable number tandem repeats from my mother and father. So they are similar to them, right? So obtaining hybrid with a radioactive probe and matching DNAs of different members of a family with biological children and adopted children, which will give us an idea how DNA fingerprints help identifying of paternity and maternity by studying the DNA fingerprints of the family. Let's see, children. Mother, father, Mrs. Rose, Mr. Rao. You can see the bands over here, children. So these are the purple bands. So these are the yellow bands. So this is Mr. Rao's biological daughter. Both Mrs. Rose is Mr. Rao's. So she has the bands of her mother and father. Now, this is the daughter of Mr. Rao's stepdaughter. That means Mrs. Rose and the former husband's daughter. Now she will have the bands of her mother, not the bands of the Mr. Rao, because he is not the biological father of this daughter. Now, Mr. Rao's biological son. You can see, children, the daughter and the son do have the same bands, right? Because they are having the same parents, right? Mr. Rao adopted son. Now, these three are different. This is the stepdaughter and these are the biological daughters. Adopted son, a complete different variable bands are present. Not the moms, not the fathers. Why? Because he is the son who was being adopted by the Mr. Rao. Now, children, you can see the bands, the color, the fluorescent bands, right? With the help of fluorescent bands, we can easily identify the radio label probes are being used in this type. Children. So a parent adopted a child. After a few years, they had a child of their own. So the adopted child do not have the variable number tandem repeats of these parents, but this child do have the variable number tandem repeats because he is the biological son of the parents. So when a complaint is registered, that is the paternity test, they will see the variable number tandem repeats. Children, father 8, 11, mother 9, 13. What is this 9, 13, 8, 11 children? Yes, these are the base pairs. So the child is having the base pair of 9 and 11 from the father. So he is the child of the parent. Now, this is the crime scene, children. This is the victim. This is the blood sample which was obtained in the crime scene. You can see the bands, right? Suspect 1, suspect 2, and the suspect 3. Can you analyze who is the suspect, children? Yes, the suspect 2, because he is having the same bands, right? Which was obtained from the crime scene. In this way, the variable number tandem repeats are useful to detect the suspect children. You can see over here, children, the section of victim's DNA. These are the repeats. You can see the color that is radioactively labeled, 24 repeats, 16, right, children? So, section repeats of suspect DNA, 49 repeats, 16, 51. Section of DNA from the crime scene hair, right? So, they have performed the DNA fingerprinting, children. Now, you can analyze who is the suspect. You can see the suspect have the same tandem repeats, variable number tandem repeats, 49 repeats of GT, 16 repeats of ATGG, 51 repeats of ATT. So he is the suspect. In this way, they have been solving number of cases in the criminal. So the application of DNA fingerprinting, children, the conservation of wildlife, protection of endangered species by maintaining the DNA record for identification of tissues from the dead endangered organisms, taxonomical application, study of phylogeny, pedigree analysis, inheritance pattern of gene through generation. Children, we have seen the family pedigree of Queen Victoria, right? So the same way. So anthropological studies, charting of origin and migration of human population, medico-legal cases, establishing maternity and paternity more accurately, forensic analysis, positive identification of subject in the crime. We have seen, children, the suspect crime, suspect 1, suspect 2, suspect 3. With the help of the bands, the variable number tandem repeats, we can identify that he is the suspect. So what we have learned? We have learned about genetic DNA, fingerprinting, and human genome project. So improve your learning, children. So these are the question. What is the DNA? What is DNA fingerprinting? Mention its application, 8 marks. What is the human genome project, called as mega project? Third, what are the salient features of HGP? Describe the steps involved in DNA fingerprinting technology. What are VTNRs? List out 2 applications of DNA fingerprinting technology. Thank you. Children, by this session,
Okay.
you all know.
It was very interesting. Go ahead.
Thank you.
Yeah, Chandrika madam, you want to say something?
No, ma'am. By this way, we know that who is the suspect of the crime. The crime scene, behind this crime scene, these have been.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you, madam, for the wonderful.
Thank you, ma'am.
And detailed explanation. Thank you very much, ma'am. Students, fingerprinting and human genome project. In future also, you can choose them as career options because there is a vast scope of human and mankind development. Okay. Please revisit the channel, complete the notes of this channel, the book which all are maintaining for the zoology webinars. Okay. One more information, children. We have CCMB at Hyderabad in Telangana. Okay, what is this CCMB? CCMB is nothing but Center for Cellular and Molecular Biology, where all these genetics, all these genetic codes, gene codes, the chromosomal disorders, genetic disorders, this like removing the genes and the muted genes or like the genes which are inherited, but they cause some damage. So those genes can be studied and we can remove the things that is known as genetic engineering. So all these will be done at CCMB. So this also is also an option. Okay, stay safe, stay at home, and please continue. Thank you, madam.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Shailja, ma'am.